Yes.
Because she wasn't married yet. I wasn't married yet. This thing is not going to work out.
Or just, call it a day.
That was the moment we had our first disagreement.
Even having technology could not have saved our relationship. It was tough.
It's so hard.
Like, if you're a guy and you ask me out, like, the next minute, he will hear it.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to our channel.
Yes, welcome back.
So we have been telling you a lot about how we met, how
right.
we became an item, or how we became a
First, how we became friends, right?
How we became friends.
How actually she friend zoned me first.
Well, we've been telling you all of that.
Yes.
And it's just been like this,
rosy moments.
Yes.
Without, as if like there weren't any challenges. No.
We have had our own fair share of
challenges. Our fair share of challenges.
And we are still having
absolutely
here and there. Because like when you overcome a hurdle, you realize that
the next is another one ahead.
So it's like you're graduating.
I agree.
And this is the whole reason we are on earth, to go through life, overcome, become better people. So we have had challenges even through that relationship of a rosy dovey. So we've had to go through some tough stuff.
We did.
And we are about to tell you a little about that. So that brings us to today's topic, which is
distance relationship and how it impacted our relationship. There were moments we had to, we had no option but to be away from each other, and we had to deal with the whole thing about distant relationship. So back then, after we had just, we had gone through our prayers, and if you watch our decision video, which we linked up there, you would have heard us talking about, finally agreeing to go into a love relationship, migrating from friendship into love relationship after prayers. So now we had just prayed, and then for a couple of months and stuff, things were going very beautiful. We're enjoying it. But just so happened that, due to our individual responsibilities regarding our education and, seeking our career path, we had to go a separate way for a while. And my wife in particular had to be away out of the country for a while.
Almost she had to be 2 years.
Yes, she had to be away for almost 2 years.
And we actually just decided at that point to work our lives together because we had prayed and we had received clear direction that this is what is going to happen.
That's right.
And just quickly as the decision and confirmation came, also came
the distant relationship.
Yes, the realization that I had to be away.
Yeah,
I needed to be away.
Can you imagine?
For studies.
I got
studies.
I got so used to her that I could, like she going to be away.
How was it for you actually?
It was a hard thing. At some point I was like, well, is this thing going to work, or did the prayer not work at all? I was wondering. Our prayer, we prayed that God put us together, but here's the case: we're going to be away on separate ways for a while. And I was like, wow, 2 years, that's a lot of time. And so within all these 2 years, period, she had to be away, and she had her own stuff she had to do.
I think your patience was tested. Was going to be tested the more.
Because at this point in time, remember, it's just not about the distance. It's about communication. It's about the imaginations. It's about the responsibilities we have and the things we have to achieve as individuals, wherever we are. She had to do stuff where she went, and we equally have to deal with distractions.
Yes.
Because she wasn't married yet, I wasn't married yet. So obviously distractions were coming my way, even more distractions were coming her way. And we have to deal with all of these. And with the fact that we are so far away, I can't get to hold her, I can't get to talk to her. I mean, we talk, but in terms of like see her in person. So it was quite a while. For 2 good years, we were not together. The Lord was on our side. And one thing I can tell you is when it got to that moment, saw her off at the airport. I wish she didn't have to go. But hey, it was something very important to her career. So that wherever it will lead her, I need to support her in that direction.
Thank you.
And I couldn't have left my and follow her as well because I also had to pursue my own career, right?
Yes.
So I had to also stay where I was to complete what I need to do. So at the end of the day, we were away for like 2 years. But we faced real challenges.
During that period.
First, when we talk about communication, it was a big problem. Up until then, we never had communication issues.
Yes.
Because we were always like all this lovey-dovey, everything was cool, everything was fine.
We had our first disagreement.
Yes.
Over the phone.
That was the moment we had our first disagreement. And you can imagine someone being thousands of miles away, and then you're also thousands of miles on the other side.
And our relationship as people who were trying to get to know each other better as people who are going to be in marriage.
Yeah.
Our relationship was so young.
Yes. To be experiencing distance,
Yes. So we were not. We struggled with communication.
We did. And I can tell you.
Who was worse at communicating?
I think she was. Don't you think so?
Really? No.
I can tell you one thing. Maybe it was me. I don't know. Who was? Tell me.
Who do you remember was?
I thought I called her all the time. Didn't I?
You did.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes when I wanted it, like to say something immediately, he will be busy.
I'm not available. But you see, equally, when I wanted to talk to her, she's not also available because she's in lectures. But I can tell you one thing that she equally suggested that probably would have helped solve this from the very beginning would have been that thing about planning to have some specific time to talk, which I wasn't so much used to because I was used to having her around. It wasn't about a specific time. So that's what I'm used to. And sometimes I'm sleeping and she's calling, or sometimes I'm in the lab and she's calling, or I'm in the library. So like the times were conflicting.
And when he wakes up, he would want to call me.
And then she's not available.
Yes.
And because I've already seen her missed calls, but I can call her. And
it was a big challenge.
Yeah, it was a big challenge. But I think the biggest issue was because of the time zone.
Yes.
There was difference in time zone. And apart from all these challenges we are dealing with, we have to still face our educational responsibilities.
Yes.
We have to complete our educational task. And it was so demanding that to have other issues coming up were like extra burden. It was a lot. Because during this period, there are a lot of temptations that came my way. A lot of temptations came her way. And we had to deal with all of these. It's so hard. And, mind you, we are from different countries.
Yes.
And, it gets so comfortable, you start thinking, okay,
raised differently.
Yes, raised differently.
Background.
Start thinking that, because the person is not from the same background I come from, the person is probably thinking or doing something else.
And sometimes you want to really, because we communicate in English.
English, yeah.
So, and this is a borrowed language.
Yes.
So it's not your mother tongue.
Yeah.
So you just feel like he's not really getting what I'm saying.
I wish I could say in a local dialect,
yes.
Local language, so that he would understand or she would understand.
You may begin to have that feeling.
Yes.
Though we never have that.
No, we never had issue. Even till today,
yes.
We don't have issues about language. We are very happy and comfortable with what we speak.
But it's a possibility that he
yes.
could come to you to say, because of communication, if there's a gap in communication.
So in summary, during this period of our distant relationship, we experienced a lot of challenges. We experienced a lot of temptations. We experience a lot of down moments. We experience moments when the devil is putting doubt in your mind and telling you, look, this thing is not going to work out. He or she is far 1,000 miles away.
And he's giving you options.
Yeah, he's giving you up,
that are so convenient.
And then distractions. And you have people telling you, oh, how much they are interested in you, or you seeing other people you're interested in. You are asking yourself like, okay, maybe it's more convenient to go with these people since the other person is not around, so you can just mind your life and be comfortable around the way you are.
Yes.
But what was very, very important, or that held us through the time, I would say, was our friendship.
Yes.
The friendship myself and my wife had held us through the difficult times in our distance relationship.
Yes.
And when we reunited, there was a lot of difference in how we communicate. We wanted certain things done, but before there wasn't any difference in the things we wanted to do. We did things almost the same way. We started asking why she's different. She's changed. Then that one would say she would tell me I'm changed. I'll tell her she's changed.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is the impact.
It's another challenge because now the person is changed. You want to deal with it.
Exactly.
Or just, call it a day.
Yeah. But, when distance comes in, remember she was in a different environment. Even if it's for 2 years, the environment or the society that she's staying is impacting her life. Now, when she left, I also found myself in a different environment, and maybe with different friends, and I was with different friends. No, maybe I was with different friends, and all these things will be impacting my life. So when we reunited, there was going to obviously be a difference in how we communicated, in how we did things, how we wanted certain things done, or even how serious we attach, the kind of seriousness we attach to certain things. And these things really impacted our lives. And that was how distant relationship impacted or gave us our first challenge, first run for the love. But I can tell you, by the grace of God, it is our friendship and the grace of God upon our lives that saw us through.
How did you deal with feeling of, I miss her?
It was hard, but we see, as a young man going through there were moments that I have been in, like for instance, when I was there, for many years, I did not have a woman in my life, but I had to deal with that. But at this point, I got so used to her that I was hoping that she's around so I could hold her, I could hug her, but she wasn't close by. So it's something I had to just know that, okay. And the thing about me is that I don't fantasize over things. When something is not there, it's not there. I just have to accept it, accept things and move on. It's just the kind of thing I say, oh, okay, this is something I have to deal with. Let's begin. Let's start with the whole process of me dealing with it. Not like, oh, I wish I could hold you. Oh, the person is next. No, it's just so hard. I guess it's I don't know if it's a man thing, but that's how I just dealt with it.
So
and how did you deal with it?
Just the way you dealt with it.
You sure?
Yes.
See, the ladies, they say we dealt with it. All right, we'll take it.
I think for me, communication was so important. Like every time I spoke to you with all that reassurance, and I can really tell you now that you were amazing through it all. I want to say thank you because every day of those 2 years, you sent me flowers.
I did.
Every day. I
sent her flowers, roses, different type of flowers. Name it, any color.
With messages.
I still have those pictures.
Assuring messages.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
Yes, I did. I sent her.
You just can't go wrong with that, and that kept me.
Yeah.
Because you read all of that like it's like a dose, a daily dose. I just couldn't see anything else. I was just seeing, the man that I have agreement with, and nothing was going to come between that from my part at that point in my life. And I'm a dedicated person, except I'm not in that. But if I put my mind to something, nothing takes it away except God. So my mind at that point was in it.
True.
So that's where it was. And nothing was, I didn't even see distractions. They were there, but I didn't notice them because I'm not thinking about the distraction. I'm thinking about the person I'm in a journey with. And just keeping good company helped me a lot. So you're not influenced by people that you keep around you.
True.
And again, knowing what you want. So at that point, I knew exactly what I wanted.
And what did you want at that point? What did you want at that point?
I wanted you to call.
Okay, I hear.
And you did.
I did. I called. And not only
that's all I wanted.
Yes, I did. Okay.
And we had stated so many things, so many plans before I left. So we had so much to look forward to.
Absolutely, a lot.
So much to look forward to, and you don't want to ruin that. And people coming in to distract, to me, they were late. I mean, they can't match up with what we had built over years.
Yes.
So no matter what they had in offer, like it doesn't beat the years and dedication and thought, the bond we had invested in our relationship. So that was really easy for me to go through that distance, remaining focused and just communicating and renewing our commitment, and it went really smoothly. But I won't deny the difficult part when you really want to see the person you're talking with. And another thing that really helped me in the communication was openness. Like we talked about everything.
We did.
Like if you're a guy and you ask me out, like the next minute he will hear it.
I'm her next call point.
He would hear it. He would know your name, anything I know about you, because we just talk about it. And he was like that too. He was that open
and
like he would tell me about the girls, you know, the whole
my own side. Sure.
So we talk about it.
Everything.
And sometimes we go out with this, you know, certain people we know about it.
Yes.
So that doesn't make you build imaginations. You already know what's happening.
True.
And you know the stand of the person you're in a relationship with.
True.
So it was really, I would say, you made it easy.
I don't think it's just only me, because I couldn't have done it without you.
But at this point, thank God for technology.
Yeah.
It helped us stay connected.
Exactly.
But we even having technology could not have saved our relationship if we were not willing to do the work.
Yes, and be open and communicate. So you can imagine all these things, effort we had to put on. But despite when we reunited, we still noticed some micro differences. Either the way we behaved, either the way we responded, or who was calling who, or the kind of friends that we
had built. You know, made more, added more.
You know, friends those friends that are, you know, that like we probably did not meet them on daily basis, talk about them.
Yes.
So these things really still impacted how we had to reconnect. So it was another process of rebuilding. You know, opening up and then rebuild, and you know, get to know the other friends that I made without when she wasn't around, and the friends that she made, and all these things, it really impacted.
Needed to catch up.
Yes,
and it
was.
But you know, with the foundation we had built, it helped us really overcome.
Yes.
In this distance, I learned a lot of lessons.
I did too.
I think with the distance, it made me really realize that I was in my best choice. So this person is far away, but I still treasured what we had.
That's true.
Over anything else. And again, I was not ready to start learning about somebody else. At that point,
a lot of work,
the door was shut for me. The most important thing I learned was realizing what I wanted and that I had it, what was important.
True.
So, and another thing that I really learned was I began to really learn patience. Before I didn't do well with patience, but I began to really pay attention to that. Patience.
Patience. It's a virtue.
Yes, and I started to really pray to God to help me be patient. So
be patient and wait upon the Lord.
So it taught me to be patient and wait, which I did not really have it in that manner before. And another thing it really taught me was contentment.
True.
It helped me realize, okay, what I have may not be ideal or the perfect thing for somebody else, but it's okay for me. And to me is perfection. So that contentment helped me just shut the doors and the windows.
And focus.
Yes.
And in this distant relationship, I learned that do not, take for granted, the people you have in your life right now.
Yes.
But when she left,
you realized how
much it meant when she was around.
Yes.
And the second thing I guess I learned from this was the ability to be able to communicate.
Yes.
In
a structured
manner. And the third thing I guess I would say has to do with the ability to say, look, I have all these other distractions in front of me. Where is my focus? My focus lies in this person. And that is what I will need to, concentrate on. And so these three things, I had to learn them during our distant relationship because there were real challenges that came. There were things we faced with, but I had to deal with them and by God's grace overcome them. And that was something we had to learn, going through our relationship journey. But I can tell you, when we reunited, it was beautiful. It was beautiful, especially I quite remember the first time when I saw it after a while. It was beautiful. That was in London. I was like, oh my goodness. I felt like let me just internalize this moment. Having missed it for years, it was beautiful to see a pretty face in real time.
Yes.
And I was so excited, and I felt like this moment, I don't miss this moment. Let me just take it all in.
And we had a lot to talk about. Yes. We had a lot to catch up on.
We did.
And it was really nice.
It was.
It was really nice. And because we had kept on with our communication, there wasn't too much missed out.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't a lot. The only thing, the biggest thing we had to deal with is the distance thing, which we had no control over.
And the first thing I said to him after I was done with my studies and we reunited, I said to him, you have to promise me that
there would never be anything like distant relationship in our marriage or years.
If we can control it, we don't ever want it happening.
We don't. No, I would. In fact, even if you offer me a job elsewhere, I'm not gonna.
You've had to.
Yes, I've had to. Turn down offers like that.
Yes.
Because there was a very good offer on the table, a very good job, but that would mean that I have to leave my family and travel almost like 3-4 times a week away from my family. And having experienced something of that sort, like distance relationship, I wasn't about to embark on something like it because I'd already promised her that this is not something I want to embark on.
No.
And I don't want that's my family is young and all that matters to me is my family. So it's important I'm with her so that we build these memories and moments.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's also something that we had to really, because it's hard when you see offers that are double what you currently have.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to really choose. But because we have experienced distance,
we know the impact of it.
The impact. So it was
money
easy.
Can't buy that.
Yes.
No, money can't. There's no amount of money that can help bring that kind of amount of time you miss from each other's life. The moment you could have built together. Like right now, we are building memories.
Yes.
But if I was far away, how would this be possible? Anyway, so we have come to the end of today's video, and we're just telling you about how distant relationship impacted us as couples. We had to go through this phase of distant relationship, which we had no control over, and it taught us a lot of lessons. And we hope that you have learned something from it, and we hope that if you are going through some similar situation, you take into account about communication, right?
Yes,
you take into account
really
things about openness, and ensuring that you are building memories even from that distance by making sure you are involved. You are telling the person every bit about your life from that distance, so the person feel like they are still part of you, right?
Like even when you make mistakes, like you have to tell them yourself.
Yes,
you don't want
them
somebody telling them.
I agree.
Or friends, or like you have to tell them.
I agree.
It's easier that way because like we did mess up at some point. Like maybe you make decisions that are not
right, and then later realize that they're wrong. But it's important you share those things with your partner first. Very important. And it is important that we also say, at the end of the day, nothing cannot be done without prayers. You need to keep praying for your relationship and asking that God preserve your relationship.
Yes, you're right.
Very, very important. So thank you so much. That was our story, and we are happy to share that with you. We'll see you in our next video.
Bye.